Hi, I'm Bonnie Barker with BonnieBabeCrochet.com, and you've come to the Easy Beginners Primrose Baby Blanket. And let me show you this beautiful colorway. This yarn is by Red Heart. All the information I'll be telling you about in just a second, but look how the yarn does all the work for you in this colorway. Let me show you a little bit the eyelet trim. This is a very easy 2-row repeat. I believe an easy beginner could easily accomplish this project, and it is also very relaxing and soothing for the intermediate and advanced crocheters. I enjoyed making this one very much. If you're brand new to my channel, if you would please hit that subscribe button. That way you won't miss any of the new offerings coming your way. And if you like the project, please hit the thumbs up. That would really bless me. And hit the notification bell if you'd like to get notifications of all the new things that I'll be uploading. Okay, let me go ahead and show you what you need. For this project, I'm recommending that you have 2 scans of the Red Heart Super Saver Ombre. And this is the 10-ounce scan, 482 yards or 440 meters. And just to let you know, this is a worsted weight yarn signified here by the medium or number 4 icon. And this also is 100% acrylic. And for the crochet hooks, I'm recommending that you have 2 sizes on hand. I'll be using a size I or 9 or 5.50 millimeter crochet hook for the bulk of the work. However, for the initial foundation chain, I'm recommending that you get a larger size hook. I'm going to be using a size J or 10 or 6.00 millimeter crochet hook. By using a larger hook, this will help to give us a better, looser base chain to work in so that it won't be pulled tightly. Okay, and I'm also recommending that you have a pair of sharp scissors and a yarn needle for hiding any loose ends. Okay. I'm also recommending that you have a size G or 6 or 4.00 millimeter crochet hook that we will use at the end for the perimeter round. To begin, I am using the larger 6.00 millimeter crochet hook. We're going to work our slip knot. And the first thing we're going to do is chain 106 chains. And make sure that you chain these on the looser side. They don't have to be terribly loose, but definitely don't make them tight because that would be harder to work in and it's going to make this edge of the blanket too tight. So generally be generous with your tension on this part. And when I count my stitches, this is just a preference thing, I generally count by 5s. So that way, if I have to stop or if I'm interrupted, I have an idea of what my stitch count is going to be. So go ahead and finish 106 chains. After finishing that chain of 106 chains, the first thing I'm going to do is change to my smaller hook. This is very important because the size I hook is the hook that I'm going to be using throughout from this point on. Okay, so now we are going to begin row number 1. In the 3rd chain from the hook, so that's 1, 2, 3, we are going to work a single crochet, a chain 2, and another single crochet. I'm going to go ahead and repeat that again, and this is the repeat all the way across the row. Skip the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then in the next chain work a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet. Skip the next 2 chains, 1, 2, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet in that next stitch. Let's stop and take a look. Also, I want to take notice of one thing too. See how the chains look like a V, and that I'm only crocheting in one side of the V. Some crocheters like to crochet in what we call the back bump, which is right here. If that is your preference, you're free to do that. However, When we come along at the end of the project, we are going to be working a perimeter round, which is going to actually help cover most of what remains of this chain. So for that reason, I would discourage using the foundation chain, which is a different style of chain, because that's going to be a lot more bulk to have to cover up. But anyway, I just wanted to be very clear, especially if you are an absolute beginner. There's a lot of information out there, and I know it can become very confusing. I just want to try to give you the very minimum of what you're going to need to complete this project. Okay, so I'm going to do this repeat for you one more time. Skip the next 2 stitches and make sure we go through. There we go. Single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet in that next stitch. So go ahead and work that all the way across. I will show you how the row ends. At the end of the row, you will have one, or should have one chain left. For that, we are going to work a half double crochet, and I'm going to show you how to do that in case you've never worked a half double crochet. You wrap the hook, stick the hook into the stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook, and that is a half double crochet. Let's go ahead and take a look at our row. And by working that chain with the larger hook, you can see how there's very little, if any, curl to this row, which is a good sign. All right, so let's turn, and now we're going to work row number 2. We're going to start by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. And for this row, we are only going to work in the chain 2 space of the clusters that we just created. So we're going to work 3 double crochets. For a double crochet, we wrap the hook over the back side of the hook, stick the hook in, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. We're going to do that 3 times. Yarn over, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Wrap the hook, insert hook back into that same place, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now, I did that rather slowly, but if you need to ever slow down the video or any of my videos on my channel, all you need to do is there's a little icon if you're working from a computer right in the bottom corner. It's over on this side for the left-hand version. It looks like a little sprocket. If you click on it, it will bring up a playback menu for the playback speed, and you can click a slower speed and you should be good to go. If you're looking at this through a cell phone, from a cell phone, up in the upper right-hand corner here, or in the upper left-hand corner for left-hand version, there will be 3 vertical dots, dot, dot, dot. If you click on that, it will bring up the same playback speed menu, and then you just select a slower playback speed, and we should be good to go. If you ever get bored of what I'm doing and you want to speed me up, you can have that option as well. And that works for all my videos and actually any video on the YouTube channel. Okay, so now we're ready to do another cluster. So notice that we're not working in the single crochets. We are only working in the chain 2 spaces. So let's go to the next one. We're going to do 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then we go to the next cluster, the chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3, and on and on. So we're going to do this all the way across. Just find that chain 2 space. 1, 2, and 3. Now I'm going to go ahead and pause and show you what this should look like. This is what you should get all the way across. Now this is actually the back side of the design. Let me show you. Usually this part of this double crochets are the front side, but when you look at this pattern, look how lovely this looks from the other side. It just gives it a much lacier, beautiful texture, I think. And once we get a few more rows, I will show you just how lovely this is. So go ahead and finish this all the way across the row, and then I will show you how to work the last stitch. After working these all the way across, we're going to work a double crochet in the chain 2, and this is a little tricky to see. Let's see if I can find it for you. Okay, right down here. This was the chain 2 from our very first row when we worked the first in the third chain from the hook. Okay, so we put that double crochet right there, and that ends row 2. Now the next row I'm going to show you will give you all that you need, but I'll work the next 2 rows with you because this is what we're going to be repeating over and over again. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to skip the first stitch, and we're going to skip the first stitch of the cluster, and we're going to work only in the center double crochet, which is right here, of each cluster. And you guessed it, we're going to work a single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet in that space, just like that. And we're going to do this all the way across the row, working just in that center double crochet, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. In the center crochet only, single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet. Let's do it one more time. Single crochet, chain 2, and a single crochet worked right in that space. So go ahead and work that all the way across the row. After working those all the way across, we have the turning chain left, and we're going to work a half double crochet in that turning chain. And remember the half double crochet, wrap the hook, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops on the hook. Now we're going to turn, and we're going to work row 4, which is exactly the same as what we did for row 2, but I'll go ahead and get you started and then give you a big assignment. Chain 3, and then again working only in the chain 2 spaces here. We're going to work 3 double crochets. And then we're going to work that all the way across, just working in the chain 2 space. Work 3 double crochets. So again, just working in that chain 2 space, work 3 double crochets. So go ahead and work that all the way across. At the end of the row, we're going to work a double crochet in that chain 2 space, just like that. So now we've completed 4 rows, and you can already see the slight shade change that is happening with the yarn, which is a lot of fun to watch happen as you crochet along. Now we're going to continue this pattern that is repeating rows 3 and 4 over and over again until the length is approximately 30 inches. I just measured the width of my blanket, and the width, as is seen right here, is approximately 30 inches right now. Now it's going to be slightly larger once we add the perimeter round, but for the basics, right now it is without the border 30 inches wide. So I'm going to make this a perfect square. So I will go until it is approximately 30 inches, and you're going to want to end on this row with the double crochets before we work the perimeter round. If you want your blanket to be longer, by all means, feel free to add the extra rows. Okay, so go ahead and work that until you have approximately 30 inches of length. I just completed row number 52, which would be the 25th repetition of row 1 and 2. I want to show you what I have, and I want to show you how beautiful this yarn worked this pattern. Okay, the dimensions now. before I work the perimeter round is approximately 30 inches wide by 30 inches long. And let me show you one thing you can do. If you're not sure, if you don't even have a measuring tape with you, you can take your Afghan or the baby blanket and you can just fold it over just like this to the other corner. And if the edge meets the other edge when it's folded from corner to corner, you can know that you have a square. So after completing my last row across, which was row 52, I'm going to turn and we're going to begin the perimeter round. We're going to chain 1, and working through the top loops, we're just going to work a single crochet in each stitch all the way across until we get to the next corner. So go ahead and work those single crochets. Okay, after having worked all the way across the row with those single crochets, we're going to turn 90 degrees, chain 2, and we're going to single crochet in that same place where we worked the last single crochet to form a corner. Now we're going to work along the row ends, and we're going to work 2 single crochets over that first row end, which were those chains, and then the half double crochet, we're going to work 2 single crochets over that as well. So effectually 2 single crochets over each row end all the way until you get to the next corner. And this is what that should look like. After working those single crochets all the way across, I've turned 90 degrees. Go ahead and chain 2 and put another single crochet right in the same place where that last single crochet was made. Now the first single crochet going across, this is the foundation row where we first started. I'm also going to do something else. There's this strand where we first started the project. I'm actually going to crochet over this as we go across, and that'll save me 1 string to have to hide. Okay, so go ahead and put 1 single crochet in that open space. Now the space where there are 2 chains, work 2 single crochets, 1 in the space where the cluster was made, and then 2 over the next chain. So that is the pattern that you're going to work to the next corner. 1 in that space where the cluster was made, and then 2 over that chain. So go ahead and work that all the way across the bottom of the blanket. After working 1 single crochet in that last space, go ahead and turn 90 degrees, chain 2, and put another single crochet in that last place that was just worked. And go ahead, and now we're going to just put 1 single crochet in that first row end there, and then now we're going to go back to working 2 single crochets in each row end, just like we did along the other side. And on this side, you're going to have 2 worked over that double crochet, and then 2 worked over that chain 2. So go ahead and work that all the way across until you get to the corner, and I will show you the final join. After working all the way along that last edge, go ahead and work 1 more single crochet. This should be in the same place where the first single crochet of the round was worked. Chain 2 for that corner, and then working through the 2 loops of that first single crochet, work a slip stitch to join. Now we're going to begin working the eyelet trim. We're going to start with the chain 1. Go ahead and work a single crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then a double crochet in that same place where we just worked the first stitch. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then work that again in the next stitch. Single crochet, chain 3, and then a double crochet worked in that same space. And do it again. Skip 2 in the next stitch, single crochet, chain 3, and the double crochet. And this is the eyelet stitch that you're going to work all the way around. So go ahead and skip 2 and do this all the way to the first corner, and then I'll show you what to do once you get to that corner. As you work across, you may need to ease the last stitch in by just skipping 1 stitch, working the next eyelet cluster there, and then when you get to the chain 2 corner, be sure to work one of these eyelet clusters in the corner so it can make that turn. Okay, going forward, go ahead and start in the very first stitch along the edge. Going around that 90-degree bend will give this plenty of space to even out. Go ahead and chain 3 and just continue around. You may not have to do that at the other corners, but as you approach them, it's fine to just either not skip as many, just skip 1, or even just work right towards the corner. But just make sure that you do allow extra space around the corner here, that you make sure that it kind of looks rounded as you go about. Okay, so go ahead and complete this all the way around the blanket, and I will show you how to join at the end. After working this all the way around, we're going to skip the last 2 stitches and work in that turning chain. And after that, we're going to join. Instead of joining to the first stitch, I'm going to join by going into the same space as the first stitch and work a slip stitch, give it a chain and give it a nice tug, and we're going to get our scissors and cut a nice long strand and pull that on through. And now we have one more thing to do. We need to take our yarn needle and we're going to hide our strands. Just thread the yarn just like that. Now I like to hide my strands on the back side, and honestly this project is really, it can be seen as a reversible blanket, so it really doesn't matter where you hide it, but I'm just going to turn it to what I consider the back side at any rate. And I'm just going to run this little thread underneath some of the stitching, just like that. And I'm actually going to run it down a little bit lower and hide it underneath these single crochets, because there are a lot more of them to hide the stitch under. Well, about like that should do quite well. All right, so I've pulled that. I'll give it a pull back a little bit like that on it. And now I'm going to clip this as close as I can, but I want to be careful that I don't cut my stitches. Okay, either side, whether we consider this the back side or the front side, that strand is hidden. And so you'll want to go ahead and hide all the other strands in the blanket just like that. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our finished piece. Let's go ahead and take another look at this lovely blanket. I hope you enjoyed crocheting this as much as I did. And just to show you, this yarn is really nice. It has a lot of drape to it. And it's not super soft, but I think because of that, it's going to hold up in the wash a lot better. And I think it's going to get many, many, many good years of use. Well, if you haven't already, if you could please hit that subscribe button and maybe the thumbs up if you like the project, and the notification bell if you want to receive more notifications. Thanks for joining me. God bless. Bye.